Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Brett's vlog. And his week was a little rough. This was a 3+ week as far as our peak sets go. And, his week was a little rough. I'm not going to use the C word, but he is getting over the Optimus Prime variant. And so, again, work capacity was down a little bit. But the training went pretty good. Because of that, he struggled a little bit for the volume work on the squats and on the deadlifts. And again, he wasn't happy about that. And we only did 3 for his plus sets, but at least the pressing, he got, I believe, 5 on his bench and 6 on his overhead press this week as far as the 3+ sets. So we're in a good place there. He's coming back up. Now keep in mind, this is a lifter working off muscle memory. He has been bigger and stronger before as a client. I mean, we're talking, when I say detrain, we're talking about something like 2, maybe even 3 months of no lifting. Some stuff came up, but he'll build back up. We'll get him back to a 600 plus deadlift. He was at a 315 close grip bench, over a 600 deadlift. And like I said, I believe I had put up at one time a video of him, just showed it briefly, of him pulling 630. So again, we'll build all that back up. He's had a 200-pound overhead press. Again, taller, leaner lifter. So again, some of the pressing isn't as good as we would like always, but he'll get all that up. We'll build it up. We really need to bring his legs up more than anything, because again, he's a great deadlifter, but as he notes himself, leg development has historically been a problem for Brett. We're going to work on that. He got a belt squat this week. So between having a belt squat, having a glute ham raise, I'm going to get his legs up. That's not going to be a problem. We're going to get his legs up. And he actually does really well on back, trap, stuff like that. Those things grow real easy for him. He's got a lot of development there. You can't really see it always with what he's wearing right now, but that area is pretty jacked. So really it's things like arms, chest, legs. But his back, his traps, upper back, lower back, glutes, all of that are great. Again, he's pulled well past 600 pounds. So not really a problem. And I think what we're going to do is some of this, since he's got the belt squat, we're going to take him over to belt squats on his squat day, glute ham raises on deadlift day. I may take the rows out, rotate pull-ups and chin-ups and stuff back in for him, because quite frankly, his low back is super strong. Plus it then gets fatigued from all the volume pulling. And there's no point in us beating him up with a bunch of rowing, right? And people say, well, how come you make a lot of your guys row? Well, I row my kids into the ground because they don't have an upper back, right? They don't have traps. They don't have rhomboids. They don't have any of that stuff. And most of them aren't strong enough to really do pull-ups or chin-ups. Now, he is going a little bit with doing a wrist curl on these curls. I'll say something to him about it later if I want to get those wrists trailing back. But overall, I'm not that worried about it because he's doing it as a multi-joint exercise. He's getting full range of motion. Right, we're working the bicep through a full range of motion. The only thing we might change is, again, getting those wrists back so that we don't lose the bicep tension at the top. But yeah, I have him do some direct arm work, as I don't have a lot of other supplemental stuff for the upper body in. If I add a second press, we'll pull the arm work. We may pull the curls. If we start doing pull-ups and chin-ups for him, we'll replace the curls with something else. Because if you're doing a lot of pull-ups and chin-ups, you don't benefit as much from curls, just to be honest. It's been my experience with lifters. I've had guys with big arms who don't do any curls. You guys remember Mikey? Mikey had 18-inch arms, right? 350 bench. We never curled, ever, at all. He was good at pull-ups, chin-ups. Doug, you guys saw Doug had pretty big biceps when I was coaching Doug, and he may be coming back. We just did pull-ups, chin-ups. We never curled. But a lot of my guys who are doing rows, because again, rows don't hit the biceps as hard, we might throw some curls in depending upon their volume. Squatting, like we said, was rough for him. A lot of people noted last time, like, wow, his squats are really back dominant. We're aware of that. He's aware of that. I'm aware of that. He levers the squatting up with his back. Again, because his back is strong, his quads, adductors, hamstrings all need to get bigger. We are fully aware of this. But how do we get them bigger? Squat volume, supplemental lower body lifts. So here's the thing. Right now, we've got a belt squat. As of this week, he's got a glute ham raise. We're doing boring but big to rebuild. I may not leave him on boring but big. We need to rebuild some muscle memory. He's lost size. We've got to thicken him back up. And we may take that over to some 5-rep stuff. Something like first set last. We may take it over to that after a phase or two. But we've got to build it up. And particularly with the squats, we may need the boring but big for a little while. He just needs that leg volume. Right? So we may be doing that and then do 5 sets of belt squats afterwards on the back off. Again, we're getting up to, again, if we count the ramp ups, it would be 13 sets for legs. One workout. That's a lot. It's a lot of volume. But he's in a situation to recover from it. Right? He's in a situation to recover from it. Plus, again, the only extra quad work we'd be doing is deadlift day. Which kind of a whole point, I'm not going to get into the whole deadlift hypertrophy thing. I'm not going to argue it. The idea that deadlifts are not a good hypertrophy exercise is a philosophical idea, not a data-driven idea, just so that we're clear there. But he did note this week, he's like, deadlifts felt off because I told him, look, let's drop the straps. Let's drop them straps. We need to be pulling without straps again. You can strap up for your rep work, for your high rep stuff. And he's just like, oh God, it felt terrible. And it's just because it pulls from a different angle. He noticed the biomechanics are different. And that's something to be aware of on your heavy pulls. One thing you guys see me doing lately is I only do my volume work with straps. I do my heavy pulls raw. Because it's a different exercise. It changes your pull position. You got to be very careful of that carryover if you want the specificity on practicing the heavy deadlifts. It will change your mechanics. Right? Straps, hook grip, and mixed grip, all three have completely different mechanics from your start position. It will change the exercise. Different beast. But because, again, the work capacity this week, he ended up only going for 3 with his peak set. And I know it's only 450 for a triple or whatever it was. I think it was 450. He's capable of more. But, again, we're going to have to bring it back up carefully. Because, again, he's already pulled 550 a few weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, he pulled 550 again. I don't want to program off that. We've got to bring him back up slow without getting hurt. We've got to keep that ego in check. And he knows this. This is a lifter who is prone to pulls and getting hurt because, and we talked about this in a Skype recently, that he knows that he's got an ego and he wants to go 100%. He's like, I could even program. I have all the 531 books. He goes, I can't keep my ego in check. I have to have a coach to keep me in check because I will burn myself out. I will overtrain. I will overextend myself. I will use the wrong training maxes. And I get hurt. And he has a history of that. We're well aware of this. And that's something that people forget about, if they want to run different templates or workouts of they're like, well, I don't need a coach, and they get hurt all the time. They don't progress, and then they don't understand what they're doing wrong because they're not able to check themselves. They're not able to work at 80 to 90% year-round and stay there. And recover and live to fight another day. And it's important. And it's something, again, Brett and I talk about. This is what happens with your more advanced lifters. They have to learn to understand these things. And in his case, he's gotten a lot better about that, of understanding that he needs to understand that. He needs help with it. Right? He needs help with it. Because that is his biggest limit. It's not lack of workability. It's not even the inability to program. It is keeping his ego in check. And a lot of you guys out there laugh at that, but for many, many lifters who hire coaches, that's the biggest part of it. Having that coach to keep them inside their sweet spot for intensities, for volume, for workload, for recovery, because they can't handle it themselves. And again, very common for advanced lifters. It's very common for men particularly. And it's something I deal with, so people say, hey, what's the difference between coaching lifters at different levels? I can tell you right now, when you start coaching guys who deadlift 600 pounds, it's not even always about the programming. It's about keeping them in their sweet spots for recovery workload, keeping the injuries down, keeping the overuse down. It's about keeping their aggression and ego in check, because the sort of men who deadlift 600 pounds are not your beta pussies, as a general rule. And having that ego and having that mindset can drive you real far of these personality types, but it can also bury you, because it's hard to get yourself in check, and there's wisdom in learning to do so. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.